Spacey Sims, and we are back with more. What the hell are we playing? Steam Prison, Finn's Route. I was like, what are we doing? A little distract. Wow, okay. Juggling so many balls in the air, can't figure out what we're doing. Anyway, yes. More Steam Prison, Finn's Route. And we're picking up where we left off. We're kind of in the prologue again, because, you know, we have to redo it for Finn's Route, which is fine, because actually it's probably better, because I would forget what happens, and most of what happened in the prologue was with Finn, so it kind of makes sense. Even though I did bitch about it at first, but I realized it makes sense, so, you know, it's okay. Anyway, so we're picking back where we left up, and hopefully it'll record the whole thing this time, and I don't have to do things twice, because, like, I swear to God, this game hates me. There's something about this game that just makes me a bit, like, did you want to do it all over again? Okay, I know it was only, like, 5 minutes at the end of the last part, but I was like, the fuck happened? I'm glad I checked it, because I was like, wait. Because I was thinking, oh, my headset came unplugged. Let me just check and see and make sure everything, like, I plugged back in right. No, game just stopped recording, even though the recording... And I tested it. Afterward, I turned on the recording software and plugged my mic jack. Recording's still going. It's still going. No, it's not. No, it's fucking not. No. Fuck. I don't even... Okay. Anyway. This game is cursed. Anyway, so here we go. I'm home. Welcome back. It's so late. Oh, yeah. I gripped my sword hilt, my tone proud. I tried on the wedding dress. I expected them to be happy, but they didn't even bat an eyelash. I gave them a quizzical look. Is something wrong? Did you really? You're doubting me? After the resistance you put up, of course. Of course, huh? It's a little hurtful to be suspected of lying by your own parents. I'm sorry. You tried on the dress. Your grandmother made the cloth for that dress while she was still alive. Did you like it? Sure. That much was honest truth. I don't dislike dresses. Oh, I don't like dresses, but the fabric was pretty. I think so. You think so? No, I like it. Grandmother's cloth was superb. Yes, it really was. I'm glad you tried it on. Now we can begin with the preparations for the ceremony and set a date. A date? There was no date before? Of course. We told you we'd only set a date after you tried on the wedding dress. Did you forget that? Yeah, probably. Yes. I really did forget that. In fact, I'd forgotten that we'd ever talked about it. I'm really not enthusiastic about getting married. I was surprised at how much I didn't care. Literally me when I got married. I'm surprised at how much I didn't care. Should have been a sign. Things will start getting hectic. Look after your health. There's still more for me to do? Of course. We have to select a venue, send out the invitations, make sure you lose a few pounds, get you looking really beautiful, and make sure I actually teach you about sex, because I can't believe you're 20 and I haven't told you, and you get all embarrassed and you have no idea where babies come from later on in this game. Probably not in this route. Maybe. I don't know. But it's going to annoy the fuck out of Spacey, because she forgot about that and now she remembers, and that's more irritating than Finn. Like, I came in and I was like, you know, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, she was a decent MC, right? Because, like, you know, they're always kind of derpy doormats. So you're like, oh, yeah, no. She's fine up until it's like babies come from, what? Until she doesn't fucking know that at 20 years old. And the bitch was you were preparing to marry her off and you didn't even give her proper sex ed talks. Good fucking Lord. 16 years old as an adult. We can drink, we can smoke, we can get married, but nobody tells you where the fuck babies come from. Or they just do a really fucking poor job making her not look stupid as fuck in this. Like, I mean, I get her being embarrassed. Like, oh my God, what were you talking about? Like, hello? But like, in Adage's route, like, the whole, like, you know where babies come from, right? I mean, the temple gives them to you, right? And he's like, are you fucking crazy? Ugh. Look, I can't imagine being attracted to anyone. Like, you're attracted to someone and then they're like, they have no idea what sex is or where babies come from. And you're like, and I'm out because your mentality is that of a 6-year-old. I'm done. Like, that's creepy. It's not like, I've just never had sex and I'm embarrassed by it. Okay, that's fine. But it's the, What? You have to do what? Wait, huh? Babies come from where? Oh my god, 5th graders get taught this shit. Oh god, I'm out. Oh god. I'm pretty sure in 5th grade, they taught us the basics, and we knew that girls are going to get their periods, and you learn, you were like, what? They shouldn't have traumatized you in 5th grade. Okay? Look, because I'm a long way from 5th grade, and I'm still traumatized by periods, okay? Because I suck. But, like, you know, it's just personal experience. But, like, I mean, like, kids are taught these, and she's 20 and doesn't. I just don't know why you think that that's cute, Japan. I don't know why that you write MC heroines like this, and you're like, let's make her so dumb she doesn't know what's. Like, she's always embarrassed. That's not cute. That's embarrassing. Like, you're a grown woman. Why are they always such innocent little dandelions? It's fucking weird. But this was the weirdest. This was the weirdest and the most, like, cringy. So, God, it's gonna come up again. Well, there you go. That was my ranting about it. Alright, so I'll forgive Finn for being a psychopath because we're an idiot and we're never taught sex ed. So, anyway. I feel dizzy. Wait till your mom tells you about sex. Can I have something to eat? I'm very hungry. Yes, of course. But don't eat too much. You have to fit into the dress. And you know what, Mom? That's sexist and, like, forcing, like, weird fucking, like, body image issues on me. Like, you know what? Stop. That's rude. I know. Marriage is a lot worse than I expected. For real. Now your mother is being like, you need to starve yourself to fit into the dress. We don't want you to be a fucking fatty, do we? Bitch, what? You do you, buttercup. If you love yourself and you're 100 pounds and you're healthy, awesome. Because some people are just naturally skinny, and that's fine. You don't need to eat a cheeseburger if you don't want to. As long as you're healthy, don't starve yourself, okay? If I'm a naturally healthy, petite, 100 pounds, awesome. And if you're naturally healthy, happy at 400 pounds, you do you, buttercup, okay? You do you. Don't listen to other people. Be happy with yourself. That's all that matters. And if you're not happy with yourself and you want to change yourself in healthy ways, do it. Healthy ways. Not like, I need to be 100 pounds or I'm worthless. I need to, like, starve myself for months so I fit in my wedding dress. That's not healthy, and our mother is setting us up. Actually, you know what? I thought our parents were nice, but, like, our mom's kind of a fucking bitch. Starve yourself so you fit in your wedding dress, honey. Also, didn't tell you where babies come from, so you look like a jackass. Damn, Mom. She's shady AF. Fuck. Like, the fuck? Jesus, Misty. Be any more of a bitch? It ain't Misty. It's foggy out there. Anyway. I am so tired. I placed my sword next to the wall and collapsed onto my bed. I knew I had to change my clothes, but my body demanded rest. Today was really exhausting. My parents continued to berate me about my wedding and future husband throughout dinner. They tried to tell me that descendants aren't the be-all, end-all. The government had decided my marriage. It was nothing of special significance to me. My parents are very happy together, but how was I going to feel? Would Lord Fitzgerald and I ever feel as comfortable together as my parents did? I can't really picture that. Catching that thief. I was like, calling that thief? And I was like, wait, what? No. Catching that thief already felt like an event of the distant past. That just proved how worn out I felt. I want to sleep, but I have to change. I had to prepare for the next day as well. Should I tell my parents that I'm going to the depths? My orders don't say that I'm not allowed to tell my family. It didn't seem like the right time. They were unlikely to oppose it outright, since it was part of the promotion process, but I knew they'd make a fuss about it. Wait until you do it and then be like, oh, by the way, I went to the depths today. Depths truly were an unknown, terrifying world to us. I won't tell them. No need to cause pointless worry. It's probably better to tell them after the fact. I love the fact that she's got swords on her wall. I know we probably said that the first time, but it's just, like, amazing. After reaching my decision, I crawled under the sheets. I immediately began to melt into the soft mattress, my whole body stretching out. Good night, I murmured and closed my eyes. One day before the case. Dun dun dun. Or we have a really big head. Like, her face is like here and then her head's really... It just looks weird. I mean, it's probably like proportional, but it just looked awkward. Good morning, Spacey. I look forward to facing another day with you. Yeah, I look forward to the sword fight with Sashin. And actually, we don't meet... No. Oh man, only when we get sent to the depths do we have that pass by with fucking Elcree where he's like, feel free to look. Yeah, okay. Man, I was looking forward to that. We don't get that, huh? Anyway. You look a little pale. Do you feel alright? Oh, don't worry about it. I didn't get enough sleep. I see. Catching that thief was pretty exhausting. The wedding nonsense was more exhausting to me. I'd been hoping that after the wedding dress I'd be able to have some peace again, but they were on my case again this morning. The prospect of dealing with wedding plans every day was depressing, but I couldn't let that affect my work. I had to compartmentalize. Maybe that's why she goes crazy and kills her parents. We know it's not her, but I'm just saying. She's like, I bet I stabbed them because the wedding bullshit. Today's a big day. We'll have to be alert. I gave my cheeks a light slap to wake myself up. Ugh. I could use that. Alright, let's do this, Finn. Roger. No, I'm Spacey. God, Finn. Just kidding. I'm surprised we were ordered to the barracks. How are they going to send us to the depths? I believe there's an entrance deep within the temple. How do you know that? Didn't it say that on the observation permit we received from Sir Cordoa? Did it? I retrieved my envelope and skimmed the contents of the permit. You're right. Don't laugh. I'm sorry. It's just so rare to see a skimp on preparations. You must have been very tired. I'm worried. This is such an important assignment. To miss details like that was incredibly unprofessional. I put the envelope away as I silently gave myself a harsh scolding. And don't worry, I'll be more careful from now on. I don't want to cause problems in foreign territory. But just in case, if you see me nodding off, give me a good shake to wake me up, okay? Got it. I'll wake you up, but I won't shake you. And by the way, what did your parents say about finally trying on the dress? Don't ask me that. Did it go badly? Finn put his hand to his mouth nervously. I don't really want to talk about it, but... He came with me yesterday. He's earned the right to hear what happened next. Yeah, they were extremely happy and said they'd set the wedding date now. I see. That's good. And that must have taken a weight off your shoulders. No, it added extra weight to them. My father told me that the real work begins now, and a lot of my time will have to go into prepping for the wedding. Preparing, sorry. I see. Well, good luck. I'll support you if I can. Look, you'll eventually have to suffer the same fate. Oh, yes, that's true. I think I'll have to work hard myself. You bet you will, and we'll both make it through. Somehow.
Oh, you're early. Excellent.
Sir Cordoa, why are you here? Are you accompanying us?
No, merely confirming your arrival. There's always the possibility of officers being too afraid to show up. Quite a number are so afraid of the prospect of the depths that they'd rather lose their promotions than go. But you're here.
We're not afraid, right, Finn? Finn nodded almost imperceptibly. Yes, of course. Not afraid at all. Maybe a little afraid. Finn. I'm fine. I'm here. See? Sir Cordoa watched our exchange and laughed. Then he pointed down the hallway.
The station to depart into the depths is down this corridor. Just head that way.
Station? The same word had appeared on the permit. I'd never seen it used in that sort of context before. Sir Cordoa, what's meant by station? Is it a name?
Oh, pardon me. You'd be unfamiliar with the term. The station is what connects our country and the depths. It's a stopping point for vehicles.
Vehicles?
Yes, the depths are below us. You can't walk there.
I have a question. Is it possible to return here from the depths?
Of course. We'd never send you on observation otherwise.
I should have thought of that. But how?
Some things are better seen than heard about. You'll understand soon. Now off you go.
Sir Cordoa pushed Finn encouragingly down the empty hallway. Ouch. Okay, let's go. A vehicle to go back and forth between our country and the depths. Our country was high up in the sky, far above ground level. Once upon a time, the world had suffered a flood. Our ancestors had been the only ones to anticipate the disaster. They built our country. The flood rolled back long ago, and in its wake, the survivors on the ground lived in a state of anarchy. Can't imagine what's able to send us there and bring us back. I turned the question over and over in my head. He said we'd understand. Very curious. It is kind of weird because, like, you go there and they have, like, steam-powered things like Steampunk World. But, like, we're almost living, like, back in the fucking Middle Ages and shit. Like, oh, we might have horses and we go everywhere on foot and, like, we push our carts and, like... And then you go down there and it's, like, this weird fucking modern steampunk society. It's so bizarre. It's kind of interesting, actually. Finn, walking beside me, suddenly stopped dead in his tracks. What's wrong? That person walking towards us. Is that... Oh. They're gonna have almost the exact same fucking voice, because, like... Saint Yune. It was Yune Sakihe, our country's greatest saint. He was ageless and immortal. He was our Hierophant, blessed by God, and everyone revered him. Hierophant. Hierophant? Hierophant? Hierophant. I keep saying it weird, but... I was no exception to that reverence. The moment I saw him, my heart began to flutter. What's His Grace doing here? The police barracks were inside the temple, His Grace's residence, so meeting him wasn't out of the question. But the temple was extremely large, so meeting him wasn't especially likely either. What are we gonna do? Finn, come here! I bowed my head and moved out of the way as His Grace passed. I heard his footsteps. With his steps slower than my own heartbeat, His Grace Yune was about to pass me by. You... I was so startled that I gave a little jolt of surprise. That was a funny reaction. Like a scolded child. I'm very sorry. You can be at ease. Come on, you two. Raise your heads. As you wish. Slowly I raised my head and met His Grace's gaze. I resisted the urge to immediately avert my eyes and began to speak instead. How may we be of assistance? Oh, I need nothing from you. I wanted to thank you for allowing me past. May God bless you. Goodbye. He won't, though.
But he did not.
His Grace began to walk away immediately. We watched him as he departed. And that was the first time I've seen him from up close. Yeah, same for me. As my heartbeat slowly went back to normal, I felt a profound happiness. I didn't just see him. I talked to him. Mother won't believe it when I tell her. After talking to His Grace, today's gonna be a great day. Oh, honey. He just cursed your ass. I headed towards the station with Finn. What is this place? The hallway went on and on. At the end of it was a door. When we opened it, an incredible sight lay before us. The weather outside the temple was sunny, but the light coming through the stained glass windows was murky, making the room quite dark. The silence was oppressive, and I was uncomfortably conscious of my own breathing. My own breathing? Breathing. Wow, I was thinking my own breath, and then I realized it was breathing, and it just came out breathing. I can read. I can do the English. Anyway, my own breathing. Wow. Is this the station? I ventured a few steps inside, looking around. I was expecting to see a guide or employee, but there was nobody. It's also kind of weird because it's a very fancy room with all the stained glass and, like... How do we get from here to the depths? Finn, do you have any idea? I don't. Sorry. He said there was a vehicle, but I can't see any horses. Yeah, it doesn't smell of livestock in here. Maybe they're bringing a carriage. But we still have a bit of time. Let's wait on that sofa over there. They're bringing a carriage into a building where there's only one door. Actually, there are multiple doors over here. But also, you can't walk to the depths. How the fuck do you think a carriage is getting there? Genius? Neither one of us are bright bulbs. I mean, I get that they're like, huh. Like, they don't understand, but like, a carriage? We can't walk to the depths, so how the fuck are horses getting there? A red envelope lay on the sofa. Did someone forget this? It has our names on it. Spacey, Testella, and Finn Euclid. I turned the letter over. There was no sender, only the temple seal. It seems like it's meant for us. What a terrible system. What if we'd missed noticing it? For reals. I glanced around again. We really were completely alone. I broke the seal. There were 2 letters inside, each folded once. They seem to be identical. Here, take one. Lift usage instructions. Oh, I see. It's a manual. It looks like it. This document details usage protocol for the lift connecting the depths to our country, hereafter referred to as the Heights for brevity. The primary purpose of the lift is prisoner transportation to the depths. Usage by unauthorized personnel is strictly prohibited. The timetable of scheduled transports is given below. Descents to the depths are regular, but ascents to the heights are not, which is fucking weird because how can you possibly go down repeatedly but not come back up? It's like an elevator. We descend to the depths regularly. The elevator goes down, but it never comes back. How? Is it on a conveyor belt? Because we get in and it goes up. It's not like we go, oh my god, we're going underground, and we go up a different way. We go up the same pipe we came back down. So how are descents regular, but ascents aren't? I mean, because technically you'd have as many. It would go down, we get out, and it would go back up instantly. But I guess nobody's allowed on when it goes back up. But what if we don't get out? Does it just sit there and it's like, bitch, get out? It's just weird. It doesn't make a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Like, every time it goes down, it has to go back up. The lift is inactive except when scheduled, save for in the case of emergency. Punctuality is the responsibility of the user. The lift will not delay departure to wait for late arrivals. If we miss the ride back, we're stuck in the depths, huh? It seems that way. We have to make sure we're on time. I'm absolutely not getting stuck down there. Finn gave a nod and put the letter back into the envelope. He stashed the envelope in his pocket. So where's this promised lift? It's almost time. Whoa! Startled by the vibrations, I jumped up. I didn't have a chance to do anything else before the floor in the center of the room rose up. Magically. What is that? As if by magic, the floor was rising into the air. A tube came into view below it, made of what looked like glass, engraved with complex symbols. They looked like swirlies. I've never seen anything like this before. Finn didn't seem to know any more than I did, staring dumbfounded at the bright light. It doesn't look like a weapon, but... Spacey, don't get any I'm just gonna take a look. We have to find out if it's a weapon. I slowly approached the light, keeping my hand on my sword hilt. Most people would be like, is that the lift? I mean, not automatically. It's a weapon. What is this? Is it glass? I reached out. A little chime rang and the bright object parted sideways where I touched it. A current of air blew out, ruffling my hair. Perhaps this is it. It's funny that it's glass, but when you get in, there's no windows. They didn't really think about this, did they? Is it the lift? Finn was thinking along the same lines. This is very strange. There's no horses or ox. Again, if you can't walk there, how are animals? God damn, she's dumb sometimes. How does it move us to the depths then? This I get her not understanding how the lift works, but I don't understand. There's no horses. You can't walk there. How's a horse doing it? Think it's gonna fucking jump? You have a Pegasus going around up here? Like, the fuck? Don't be stupid. Like, they didn't really think this through sometimes with the confusion. Like, they're going to be confused about the lift. Okay, so they'd think that maybe a horse could get there, but they were told they can't walk there. Think anyone's really that stupid? Like, really? It just kind of irks me. Like, I don't know. But if this is our ride, we need to get on. Finn's expression was extremely hesitant. I mean, Finn doesn't seem... I'm sure Finn's thinking the same thing, but it's like, why are we both so stupid? He was just as uncertain about this object as I was. I wish they'd at least written lift on it somewhere, or like told you what a lift was before you went there. Someone was there, oh, this is how it works, instead of making you figure it out. Like, I mean, you know that nobody knows what the fuck this is. You know, like, how do you get there? Like, nobody thought about asking, like, well, how do you get there? But you'd think, oh, we're going to take you, so someone should be monitoring this room. You know what I mean? But I guess that's one of those secrets that you don't get to know until you're rank 2, because now you're going to have to, you might have to escort prisoners to the depths, and now you at least know what the lift is, but someone should kind of be there? I don't know. Anyway. Also, because again, it only comes up it comes up every single time it goes down, so you never know. like, Someone should be here monitoring this room. It'd be really fucking easy for you to, okay, I'm getting arrested, stab the person that's escorting you and jump back in the lift and come back up with it. Because it's got to come back up. Like, like, you know what I mean? And no one else is going to be here, so that's how you get back. Didn't get arrested, didn't stab anybody. Like, it's not, it's, how, their security's lax is all I'm saying. Anyway. There was no discernible writing on it anywhere I could see. This is why rereading it is bad, because then I just notice all these things. I probably noticed it the first time and had the same complaints. I don't know. We can't just stand around here. You're right, we need to enter. There was still a chance that it was dangerous, though. I had to make a decision. Should I go first, or should Finn? Go together, right? Yeah. We don't have time to think. According to the instruction letters, departure was imminent. We'll investigate together. Come on, Finn. Okay, I hope nothing goes wrong. And then here, wait. The space inside could fit 3 or 4 people comfortably. It was completely empty. There wasn't even any dust. So what are we supposed to do now? When you get in, there's no windows. The door! The glass door closed again, and the floor began to tremble. As we descended, the light dimmed until it was gone completely. Is this the lift? Being moved by the vibrating mechanism was very unsettling. Finn was in obvious discomfort. He covered his mouth with his hand. Don't throw up. I don't want you throwing up in this tiny space. I know, but... Eventually the vibration stopped and the glass door slid open. Outside we saw... this. I was speechless. Finn murmured something about a room. Wait, so we take the little glass lift that's now dark to the actual lift. This is the weirdest. I didn't notice how bizarre this was at first. You know what I mean? Because when you're in the depths, you get into this and then you end up getting into something else. You don't see any horses. This is just a cramped little space. How is... Whoa! The ground jolted. I grabbed instinctively at Finn's uniform to steady myself. I'm just really confused how this works now. Because, like, you get in an elevator, or you'd think, okay, we have to sit, and then we go down. Okay, but we got into a little room. There's room for, like, 4 people. It moves down, and then the light comes on, and we're in the tube. What is it? The glass tube? Because this, you can't see out this. And also, a glass tube with no light, and we can't see anything. We didn't see, like, the walls rise up, like, ah, we're going on the hole! Like, okay. I don't want, nothing makes sense anymore. Are you okay? I'm fine. Calm down, Finn. I'm the one who needs to calm down. I let go of Finn's uniform and did my best to compose myself. Ready for departure. Visitor transport will depart. What's this? When the shaking stopped, a voice spoke to us. Finn and I looked around, but we were the only ones present. Thank you for using the lift bound for the depths today. This lift is unmanned. Please sit down and remain seated until arrival. Is it over? The room had no windows. I had no idea what the outside looked like. I mean, it's a tube, so... I had my share of apprehensions, but it was too late to turn back now. I guess we should do as the voice said and sit down. Finn sat down on the seat opposite to me. I wonder where we're being taken. The depths, obviously. Finn gave me a startled look, blushed, and looked away. Yes, of course. Sorry. Everything has been so strange that I forgot. I sympathize. The depths are a wasteland barely fit to be used as a penal colony. I never expected to be sent there without committing a crime. This is an important experience. Let's get as much as we can out of it. Finn nodded in agreement. I couldn't think of anything else to chat about. The rumble of the lift filled the quiet. I wonder if I should be saying something. Sitting in silence with Finn didn't bother me at all, but still, what would be a good topic? Finn cleared his throat, offering a timid attempt at conversation. Spacey, why did you decide to become a police officer? That's out of the blue. Sorry, I was just thinking that if you hadn't become a police officer, you wouldn't be going down to the depths. You aced the examinations, but doesn't mean Oh, but that doesn't mean it's an easy job for a woman to thrive in. What made you choose it? It's a long story. You still want to hear it? Yes, I like listening to others. All right, then I'll tell you. As I'm sure you know, the Testellas have been politicians for generations. My grandfather was a politician with a very strong sense of justice. He was often criticized, but the people liked him. He used to help those in need wherever he could. I really admired that. But I'm too impatient and impulsive. I wanted to be like my grandfather, but I just wasn't able to picture myself as a politician. Then something happened when I was 13. I can't find it. It was the day after my 13th birthday. My gift from my mother had been a pendant. It was a family heirloom, and now we know all the truth behind this. I should have put it away for safekeeping. Instead, I'd been so happy that I'd worn it everywhere. I'd been very careful and yet somehow still managed to lose it. To make matters worse, I had no idea where it might have happened. What should I do? I could never tell my parents I'd lost the pendant within a day. I spent a long time searching. This is where I noticed it was gone. I hope I can find it here.
What are you looking for over there? Oh, it's supposed to be, it's what's-his-face, right? Inez. What are you looking for over there?
I turned around and saw a large man. A police officer. Taken aback by how his large frame loomed over me, I shook my head. It doesn't concern you.
Of course it does. It's almost night. You have to go home.
I can't.
Why not?
Because I haven't found it yet.
What are you looking for? And where's your home? I'll walk you there.
I'm fine. Goodbye. What now? I still have to look for it. I knew if my parents saw a police officer escort me home, however, they'd be suspicious. If they found out about the lost pendant, I was sure to be in dire trouble. Tomorrow. I'll look for it again tomorrow. When I got home, my mother remarked on my lateness. We ate dinner together. It was all my favorite dishes. But I felt so incredibly sad about losing something so important to the family, so I didn't enjoy a single mouthful. When we had finished eating, I went to my room and sat down on my bed, still allowed to have swords. I want it to be tomorrow already. The next day I'd be able to look for it again. Despite my best efforts to fall asleep, I remained wide awake. What do I do if I don't find it? They told me it was important to us. The pain and sadness in my heart seemed to crush me. Later, deciding sleep was impossible, I crept out of the house. I just need a little longer. Even if I never found it, I needed to know I tried as hard as I could. It's so dark and I was alone in town. It was very quiet. I felt like someone was watching me from the shadows. A cold shiver ran up my spine. I'll be fine. Nobody's there. I'll be fine. I repeated that like a mantra to myself as I searched.
You again.
You! It was the same police officer from earlier. I froze, paralyzed by the sight of the person I least wanted to see.
Your parents must be worried about their child being out at such a late hour.
He told me to go home and reached towards me. I told him I was fine and swatted his hand aside with a glare. They don't know I'm here.
That's no excuse for doing something dangerous.
Please leave me alone. I can't go home until I find it.
You haven't found what you're searching for?
I nodded. I need to find it, otherwise my parents will be sad. I couldn't say the words. My throat burned. My nose was stinging. I could feel the tears start to well. I never meant to make them sad. I hated myself for crying in front of a man I didn't know, but I couldn't hold it back. I stared at the ground, wiping at my eyes in the hopes I could hide my sorrow.
It seems to be something very important to you.
I nodded vigorously, unable to speak.
Perhaps it's this.
Huh? And now we know it's Inez. This is my... So funny, we should have known. They, hide his face in shadow. Shouldn't have fucking known it was him.
I'm glad it's yours. I'd hoped that from the moment I found it. If it was yours, then I didn't need to worry.
Worry?
Yeah, because once you had it, you'd go home, right?
I'm very sorry.
And don't worry about it anymore. Where do you live? I'll walk you to the area.
Thank you very much. it's important to you. And don't lose it again. Oh, if it's important to you, don't lose it again. Sorry. I won't. The house was dark. My parents hadn't realized I was gone. Mr. Police Officer, are you hungry? Hungry? Yes, my father always tells me to be nice to people who are nice to me. My father brought me chocolate yesterday. I'll give it to you. Please wait here. Oh, don't worry about it. Always faithful. Serving the people is my job as an officer. I don't need anything. But you don't want them to find out you were gone, right? Go inside. Okay, thank you. Until that day, I always saw police officers as people who just walked around the city. It really changed my view of them. I wanted to become an officer just like him. That's all. Did that sate your curiosity? Oh, yes, thank you. You're welcome. It's strange. We've been partnered for 2 years, yet I've never told you that story until now. I appreciate you sharing something so precious with me. It's just an old memory, nothing precious. This, on the other hand, is precious. Is that the... Yes, this is the pendant my mother gave me, the Testella heirloom. I'm always careful to keep from losing it now. You've never told me why you became an officer either. Did you want to... We have reached the depths. No time for talking to Finn. Fuck Finn. I'm just kidding. Please check that you have all of your belongings with you. Thank you. You heard it. You'll have to tell me another time. Yes, I will, but it's a rather boring story, which we'll hear, I'm sure, in his path. In that case, I expect epic amounts of drama and lamentation. There was a flight of stairs, which I walked down carefully. I didn't want to stumble. A damp smell permeated the air. These are the depths. Rusted machinery and uneven pillars surrounded us. Through the pillars, I could see a plane, all gray and brown. Beyond the plane were buildings. It's completely different from what I expected. You were thinking it'd be more savage? Yes, we send our criminals here. I thought it'd be more like a prison. Same here, but this is all out in the open, not enclosed. It seems more like uncharted territory than a jail. I'm not sure if this is Inez or Sashin. I think it's Sashin, right? Well, that only applies to this area. We'll find out who it is. Okay, it is Sashin. Okay. And you are? The drama music. I miss it. I'm the commander of the Hounds. My name is Sashin Brandenburg. Welcome to the prison at the end of the world. Hounds? Yes, I received a notice from the temple that I'm to guide 2 observers. From the temple? I retrieved my letter and read through it again. Hounds. Doesn't mention that. Of course not. It's not the kind of organization that refined Heights society needs to know about. The primary purpose of the Hounds is the supervision and management of the prisoners sent here from the Heights. We are guards. All members were born in the Heights, myself included. We report to the temple just like the police do. There's no need for you to be on alert. I see, but... Sir Sashin presented a tidy exterior and showed no hostility. Showed no hostility? Really? Are you looking at his face? Because everything about his face screams, hostile! I mean, I made his voice sound hostile, but his face is pretty fucking hostile. Still, something just... I couldn't pinpoint the cause of my unease, so I shook my head. I understand the nature of your organization, the Hounds now. Still, we know nothing about this place. We'll stay on alert. Anything might happen. Don't drop your guard, Finn. Roger. No, I'm Spacey. God, Finn! A valiant response. You may be a woman, but you have what it takes to be a police officer. I mean, I am a police officer, so... I may be a woman, huh? The condescension was nothing new for me, but it still made me square my shoulders and straighten my back. I'm Spacey Testella, a rank 1 temple police officer. Officers. Plural. No, officer. This is Finn Euclid, same rank. We've come here as part of our promotion examination. Thank you for being our guide. Sorry, I'm adjusting myself. Well then, let us go. Sir Sashin turned on his heel, setting off with quiet steps. Finn and I followed him side by side. We walked towards a large building visible in the distance. I assumed it was our destination. The depths. We're surrounded by a wall here, just like in the Heights. Is something the matter? Behind us in the wall there, isn't that an exit? I paused, pointing in the direction of the distant wall. It surrounded the city on all sides, except for the place that looked like an opening.
That is unrelated to the observation.
What is it then?
Entirely unrelated to your assignment. Your Highness will discover many curious things in the depths. Your assignment didn't bring you here to show interest in the irrelevant rank 1 police officer.
Most of what he had said was reasonable. I don't like being addressed sarcastically like that, but he is right. Apologies, Sir Sashin. I let curiosity get the better of me. Finn was giving me an unreadable look, and I apologized to him as well. This is part of my duties. I have to focus on the mission. It took about an hour of walking to reach our destination. It was a large building. It had been built in an oppressive architectural style and was the same shade as the dark clouds behind it. There was a large crest I didn't recognize emblazoned on it, which I assumed belonged to the hounds. You see, this must be where you keep the criminals. Sir Sashin laughed audibly.
This is not an internment facility. It's the headquarters of the hounds.
Headquarters? Apologies.
No offense taken. I'm sure it looks too shabby even for a prison to a temple police officer.
Shabby? I didn't...
Our situation here is rather different, but the building was made to similar plans as those in the Heights. Despite our debased status, we still harbor some pride. And then again, I'm sure it's worse than a hovel to someone used to actual temple architecture. Before we go inside, I'd like to show you where the criminals live. Please follow me.
I get a sense that he doesn't think much of us. It's making me uncomfortable. It's my fault. I insulted him and his comrades. Things are very different here to in the Heights. I need to take more care with how I speak.
He's also just a bitch, but... This is the housing area for the criminals. The Sanctuary District.
Sanctuary District. I considered Sir Sashin's words as I looked around.
Everyone who lives here was born in the Heights. Outside the walls that surround this district are various settlements of people native to the depths. They loathe those who come from the Heights.
Walls. Like the one we saw from the station? Oh my god, my fucking chair is driving me bonkers. I'm sorry, I'm trying to move it, but it gets stuck on my carpet. Fucking irritating. And then my, back brace thing, fucking, the strap doesn't stay attached, and I gotta keep moving things around. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable, but it's, fucking physically impossible in this stupid fucking chair. I hate it. I just don't want to waste money on a new chair, you know what I mean? Anyway.
Yes, they're savages, and we have our hands full with them. Unfortunately, they're too numerous to wipe out. So instead, we contain the criminals within an area protected by the hounds. This is their sanctuary. Though criminals, they're Heights born, after all.
I see.
It's kind of funny, though, they may be criminals, but they're still better than the heathens outside.
Elkreen, excuse me. I am far better than you give me credit for. I'm fabulous. Yes, you are. I'm very surprised to see no cells or prisons. I looked at the buildings around me. It was simply a decrepit village. The people weren't chained or shackled. There wasn't any restriction on their movement. It's like a small town. Isn't it dangerous to allow the criminals to roam?
No. They're garbage, too weak to pose a threat. Some resist. But then we dispose of them with the blade. That's all.
Sir Sashin put a hand on the hilt of his sword and gave us a wild grin. Right, this is where we meet Merlot. Dispose. Huh. I ignored the cruel choice of words, looking around at the Sanctuary District again. These buildings must be where they live. It didn't look like a livable area to me at all. The sky was the color of ash. Everything was damp and everything smelled. Just all of a sudden, I'm like, what the fuck is moving into the corner of my eye? This giant piece of fucking newspaper flapping around because the bird's over there. Playing with his goddamn paper fort. He's so fucking weird. The people were emaciated and looked at me with heavy eyes. I know that I couldn't live here. There were no prison cells, but the prisoners were monitored and controlled. I'd like to go back soon, but since we're here, I want to show you the next town as well. All right? Whoa! Something crashed into me. I turned and saw a boy sitting on the ground. He'd fallen on his rump. Are you all right, boy? Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking. I told him it was dangerous to be unaware of his surroundings and held out my hand. Be careful that it doesn't happen again. Yes, thank you. The boy took my hand and stood up. Then he bowed and thanked me again. I didn't expect a child here. A filthy spawn of criminals. Sir Sashin drew his sword and sliced the flesh of the boy's arm. Ow! Sir Sashin? Punishment for injuring someone from the heights. Injuring? He just bumped into her. I wasn't wounded. There's no injury. Please sheath your blade. You're bleeding. Are you okay? I took out my uniform's first aid kit and treated the boy's cut. It's awesome. Our uniform comes with a kit. What are you doing? It's our job to punish criminals. This didn't call for your sword. Besides, he's just a boy. Age is no excuse. All are punished with equal severity. The hounds rule this area. Do not defy our authority, rank 1 police officer. Are we going to defy it? You do not hurt Merlot. Even though Finn killed him at one point. Just saying. I'm still more offended that he killed Eldcreed, but also, right, he kind of did kill Rylith and Merlot, huh? Come here, you shitty brat. I'll cut your legs off to make sure you don't run like that again. No! I feel like the kid's gonna be like, okay. No? Sir Sashin was their warden. If their law called for this punishment, then he was in the right. I still can't let this pass. Spacey? Wow. Why are you drawing your sword on me? It's my job to protect the weak. I can't overlook this conduct. I told you that the hounds rule this area. You don't seem to understand your position. I understand it perfectly well. I serve the people of the Heights. I have no authority here. I'm following my own code of justice. It demands I protect the weak. If you stand in the way of that code, I will use my sword against you. And to think I was groveling at your feet. You're a fool to defy me, woman. I will warn you one last time, rank 1 police officer. Sheath your sword. Follow my orders. The hounds enforce a strict regime. I won't go easy on someone who draws a blade on me. Are you ready to lick my boots? Oh, that was him. I'm like, wow, we're saying that to him? I think that's a bit much, Spacey. Oh, wow, I read that wrong. Are you ready to lick my boots, your highness? Again, this is kind of like I know I shouldn't be sitting here with Sashin and being like, I want a Sashin route. I kind of want that torture, but hating Finn because he fucking killed our friends and went a little psycho. Like, it's two totally different levels of crazy. Like, Finn went crazy because of what Sashin did to him, and yet I'm like, I want a Sashin route because, like, step on me with those boots, I guess. I don't know. Like, I would not enjoy it, but I would. I'd be like, I hate this so much because I love it. Like, you know what it is because he's just a fucking bastard, and you're like, I can handle that, but, like, Finn is crazy, and I don't like that. I know he's not right now. Like, right now, he's just a fucking doormat. He's not even a good boy. He's just a doormat. So it's like, okay, Finn, you're just a doormat, whatever. And in the other routes, he's like, I'm a little tougher. No, now you're just like a fucking psychopath. No, Sashin's just a fucking douche canoe. But when you get his backstory, you're like, aw, you've been hurt. You think you can fix him even though you can't, but you want the torture a little? Like, I don't get the logic in my brain that makes me like, I would just enjoy a Sashin route with him abusing us, but like, fucking then you get in a Finn route and you're like, no, fuck Finn, fuck this Brit, fuck you. Like, I just... Look, I don't get myself either, okay? I should ask you the same question. I won't be the one to lose. I gestured for the boy to leave, but didn't look away from Sir Sashin. You go home.
But...
Just go.
Okay, thank you!
This is a duel. Stand back. Don't interfere no matter what. And don't distract him. Don't do anything that he could use as an excuse. Alright. Good luck. Finn's like, better you than me. This is gonna make... This is why Finn's route's gonna be fun, because Sashin's gonna be in charge of us, and we're gonna get a little bit of a Sashin route. Because I'm just assuming we're gonna take some fucking abuse. And it's gonna be like, I'm here for the Sashin abuse. In the Finn route. This is so wrong. Anyway. You must be pretty confident if you have time to chat. Nobody dares to find me here. We're gonna have some fun together. You sleazy... How am I gonna go about this strategically? We stood at a distance from one another, swords drawn. I could see Sir Sashin's face beyond the tip of my blade. I put my blade away. Alright, you know what? You're right. We shouldn't fight. Oh, wait. You can't kill a kid now because he's gone. Whoops. Carrying a sword meant that he had at least some skill with it. He also knew the environment better. I was at a disadvantage. No, I shouldn't think like that. Also, he's probably stronger than you. Like, legitimately, we've said that. I'm not the strongest. You know that. He's also, just physically, he probably is. He's also buffer than you, so, I'm just saying, strength alone, we're going to have to be really good about what we do. We've already gone down this route. We know what happens. El Creed. The quickest path to defeat was to doubt myself. I had to believe I could win. First, I have to find out how good he is. I'll go first. Sir Sashin lowered his blade to his chest and parried my attack without flinching. Sparks flew where the swords collided. I brought the sword around and used the momentum for another strike. Ha! Rookie. Sir Sashin slammed my sword aside and raised his leg to kick me in my right flank, where I was now open. I barely had time to lower my stance and block his leg with my right arm. It was an improvised defense, and the shock of his kick was severe. I grimaced. My right arm. My sword arm tingled with pain. My grip was faltering. Sir Sashin sensed my weakness and brought his sword down without hesitation. You're as weak as I thought. Don't underestimate me. We've barely started. He has such, fucking rarity from My Little Pony hair going on right here. I don't know what it is. I'm just I just see My Little Pony bangs going on. It's glorious and I love it. I can slowly feel my arm again. I just need to calm down and react. And there's nothing as boring as a sword fighter who fights according to all the rules. I'd rather be fighting the criminals. They run and run and run and run. It's all they can do. And in the end, when you catch them, you can kill them. Those that defy the hounds are punished according to law, and we allow complete freedom in how we kill them. It's much more amusing than having to fight you. I didn't draw my sword to amuse you. I flexed my grip on my hilt and glared at Sir Sashin. I pity the hounds for having such a barbaric commander as you. And I pity you for only finding amusement in killing. It's gonna come back to bite us in the ass. You what? Ha! Our swords clashed again and again. The tip of my sword grazed Sir Sashin's cheek and drew a trickle of blood. You wench! Sir Sashin's eyes flashed with rage. Our swords clashed again. We were practically in biting range of one another. Okay, but maybe instead of biting, kiss. He's strong. He was pushing against my sword with all his might. It was difficult to maintain my footing. Do I move back or do I... The pressure suddenly disappeared. I caught a glint in the corner of my left eye. By the time I realized it was a short sword, the edge had already bitten into my left shoulder. The pain was incomparable to the kick I had taken earlier. Warm blood ran over my skin. Jesus. I went down on one knee, startled by the pain. Spacey! Stand back, puppet. This is none of your business. Woman, if you apologize for defying me, I will show you mercy. However... He kicked my sword aside.
You'll have to lick my boot first.
I underestimated you. It's true. Perhaps I'm not skilled enough to beat you either way. But I won't apologize. It'd be against my code. I'd rather you stab me than make me lick your boot. Gross. Just like pissing him off.
You damn...
Sir Sashin raised his sword. Elkreed to the rescue. Our precious prince. I love him so much. What was that sound? I flinched. I'd never heard a noise like that before.
A gunshot. Who fired a gun?
Nobody answered. None of the residents dared speak to him when he was in this state.
And that's enough, Sash. Inez, did you just fire a gun?
The man Sir Sashin had called Inez shook his head.
No, but I came here due to the gunshot. I don't recall an order from the Heights that we're to duel the observers. Are we? It's none of your business. She drew her sword on me first.
It's kind of bullshit. You drew your sword on the kid first, so technically.
It is my business. We all serve the temple, and if the criminals see us fighting, it undermines our authority.
Sir Sashin reluctantly sheathed his sword, grumbling under his breath.
You too. Sheath your sword.
What should I do? Sir Sashin had put away his weapon, but still glared at me with murderous intent. I decided to trust the man who had convinced Sir Sashin to back off. Very well. I'm sorry, but who are you?
My name is Inez Heinrich Hein. I'm the second in command of the Hounds.
Second in command? It makes sense that he convinced Sir Sashin to stop then, but... Sir Sashin and Sir Inez were of similar height and build, but the impression they make is completely different.
Spacey, are you okay? We need to treat your wound. Are you wounded? I see a cut on your shoulder and...
A blow to the other arm. Do you have medical facilities? Finn, don't scold me. This is worse than you think. That wound is too serious to leave untreated. Finn took a handkerchief and deftly wrapped it around my left arm. He seemed to be correct. The handkerchief immediately turned red, which meant the wound was deeper than I thought.
I will escort you to the medical rooms inside the Hounds' headquarters. Sash?
No need. This can't be called an injury. Sir Sashin wiped at the graze on his cheek, turned on his heel, and walked away. When he was gone, Sir Inez gave a sigh and looked at me.
Well, let's go then. Excuse me.
Hey, Inez. Oh, who's this?
Observers from the Heights.
Inez looked at me expectantly. I realized he didn't know our names. Is Spacey to Stella. This is Finn Euclid.
Spacey got in an argument with Sashin, and was injured, and there was blunt force trauma in her right arm and an open wound on her left. Please take a look at it.
Of course. Treating the wounded is my job, after all.
It's like he seems so nice until you realize he was crazy.
I'm Glissade Roselight. I work as a doctor for the Hounds. Unfortunately, we're unlikely to meet again if you're a guest from the Heights. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Pleasure to meet you.
Huh. You seem confused.
Yes, both you and Inez are very different from Sir Sashin.
I'm just a doctor. I'm not capable of his brutality.
Yeah, you're capable of far worse.
Glissade.
Inez is like,
Whoops! I shouldn't have said that when the second in command is in earshot, even if it is the truth. Sashin Brandenburg leads the Hounds. He chases prey to the end of the earth like a hound.
A hound?
You can't oppose him here, even in the Sanctuary District, and expect to live. You provoked someone very dangerous.
It seems like it, but... Sir Sashin was about to injure a child. I can't excuse an abuse of power like that.
I see. I hope your forthright instincts won't cost you your life one day.
We can chit-chat later.
Can you please tend to Spacey's wounds now?
Oh my, I'm sorry. Please, this way. I need to dress the cut first.
Glissade smiled and untied the handkerchief. I took off half my coat to expose my arm. Glissade made a small noise of appraisal. Finn leaned in.
How does the wound look? And the cut's sharp and clean. It should heal neatly. If we stop the bleeding and wait a day, it should be back to normal.
See, it wasn't a big deal. Finn sighed with relief, and I lightly slapped his stomach with the back of my hand. Like, he's your bro. So funny. I don't like how you keep worrying too much. I only do it because you're so indifferent about yourself. What if you'd needed a transfusion? Then I would have gotten a transfusion. But you can't.
Does your body reject transfusions? I'm sorry I'm showing so much curiosity. It's interesting to me as a doctor.
Not a mad scientist. Yes, but it's not really nothing dramatic. I have unusual blood. One transfusion gives me no troubles, but a second one is potentially fatal. Potentially fatal? Yes, I'm told that antibodies form after the first transfusion, so more transfusion can cause a rejection. But, like, they never really explain her magic fucking blood aside from, oh, then Glissade wants to use it to resurrect his daughter. But, like, did you really ever explain it other than that? Like, I mean, that explains why he wants us. We have magic blood so he can resurrect his daughter, but, like, why is our blood special? Just so Glissade can resurrect his dead daughter and cause all the... I mean, I guess that's what you went with, because you were like, we gotta get a reason for her to get down here, and, like, Glissade would want her, and, like, why would he want her? Okay, and then magic blood. Okay. Like, I don't know how it works exactly, and I've never had a transfusion, so I don't know if it's true. And the cure could kill, eh? And that's harsh. Is it? A wound serious enough to need a transfusion would be mortal danger anyway, wouldn't it? Besides, as I said, I've avoided them so far, so there's no cause for concern. You needn't worry about me. Finn is being fussy. I shrugged and smiled at Finn. But... it's normal to be worried for your partner. You too, Sir Inez. Et tu, Brute. If you don't want others to worry, then don't get hurt. Don't you agree? Yeah, that's true. Sir Sashin is strong, but if the fight had gone differently, I think I could have won. If I duel him again, I'll... That's not what I mean. I meant that you shouldn't do something so reckless. Oh, I see. Having a strong moral code and wielding your sword in the name of justice is a good thing, but fighting the wrong battles and losing your life leads to nothing. All you leave behind is a grieving partner. That's true, I suppose. I'm sorry, Finn. Spacey, I'm just glad you understand now. I'll be a little more careful from now on. A little... Spacey, please.
What a courageous girl you are. All right, your treatment is finished.
Thank you. I'll arrange a change of clothes for you so that you don't have to wear a damaged uniform. No, that won't be necessary. My overcoat's in good shape, and one has to look closely to see the damage to the uniform. All right. It's already fairly late. You should make for the station soon. Will there be another observation date? No. All that's required is you to see the sanctuary district, and then the hounds sign your permit, and the observation is complete. We were only here for such a short time. Yes, the observation for the Rank 2 exam is merely a ritual. With Sash elsewhere, I'll sign in his place. Your permits? Thank you. Here. We handed over our permits, which he signed with a pen from one of his uniform pockets. Cause Sash didn't in no way, shape, or form would have signed that fucking permit after we tried to kick his ass. That'll be enough. Let's go. I'll walk you there. Thank you. Glissade, thank you for the treatment.
Take care. Magic blood. You don't see interesting women like her down here very often. I'd like to see her again someday.
And I'm going to stop here. So, like, yeah, it's going to take, like, 3 parts to at least do the prologue. So, I don't know. I'm banking, like, I was thinking 10 to 12 parts for his route. Because that's, I mean, because with the prologue, you know what I mean? It could be a little bit longer. But we'll see. And we'll just keep going. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure. I think at the moment now, just seeing that we're still in the prologue, I'll probably put up 2 parts every Sunday. So you should be seeing this the same day part 1 posted. You know, this way it'll only take 5-6 weeks to do instead of like 12 weeks. But like obviously if something happens and I'm like, I can't handle it, or I, get bit, then, it'll only be one part. But it'll still be at least every Sunday. Most likely 2 parts every Sunday. That's my intent, and that's usually what I try to keep myself to. Once I set a standard, I try to stick with it as much as possible. Like, I'm too responsible. It kills me. Like, I don't know why. Like, but anyway. So yeah, most likely I will see you guys next week. So remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.